We begin with developing details from Trumbull County. A community came together tonight to pray for 4 people killed during a shooting spree. New information from Newton Falls continues to pour in tonight. Good evening, I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Danita Harris. Police tell us a 55-year-old man shot and killed 4 people before taking his own life. Investigators are trying to piece together what happened and are combing through 3 different crime scenes. We sent numerous crews to Newton Falls tonight to cover this developing story. They've been gathering details on the murders and reaction from neighbors. We're going to start with our live team coverage as Stephanie Ramirez fills us in. Stephanie?
Danita, those close to the gunman, Robert Brazen, tell us he suffered with back and heart issues, but he supported his family, taking care of a father, a brother, and other family members. Well, tragically, those other family members became his victims, and everyone is asking why.
He would say, today, I thought about doing it today, this and that, and I'd tell him, hey, your daughter needs you,
Gary Gibson says he heard the threats, but never took them seriously until now. All neighbors could do Friday was watch and wonder just what pushed 55-year-old Robert Brazen to kill 4 people and then turn the gun on himself. For Gary, the feelings he says he has are almost numb.
Shocked, still. Good friend of mine.
Police say Brazen lived here with his girlfriend, one of his victims, and the mother of a 5-year-old, 39-year-old Tracy Engler. Neighbors tell News Channel 5 Brazen and all of his victims were either connected by blood or by marriage. A total of 5 people now dead in this normally quiet Newton Falls community. Just saying the number brought tears to the mayor's eyes.
It's just hard to imagine that this happened, but when you're, this day and age, a lot of people don't care about life. It's amazing how some people just take life for granted.
Gibson says he could never agree with what Brazen did.
Hurts, Felt bad for his daughter and, ex-wife, Tina, and them. Felt horrible for them.
And police are now investigating a possible note believed to be left behind by the gunman. Meanwhile, the mayor says to help the neighborhood in their grieving process, they do plan on having another candlelight vigil sometime in this next 2 coming days. Stephanie Ramirez on your side.
All right, thank you, Stephanie. The police investigation is just beginning. Officers are still looking for a motive. News Channel 5's Jen Strathman also spent the night out in Newton Falls sorting through the details of the case for us, and she continues our live team coverage. Jen?
Well, Danita, 3 crime scenes, a standoff, and 5 people are dead. That's difficult for any police department to investigate, never mind a small town like Newton Falls that's been taxed by budget cuts. The first 911 call came into police around noon from one of the victims.
One of the 911 calls, there were shots heard over the 911 call.
When police arrived, they found 2 adults and 1 juvenile dead. The small town police force had their hands full processing the scene and had no leads on a suspect for 4 hours. A neighbor's video of a white Dodge Stratus leaving the scene of the crime was the break police needed to begin searching for a suspect.
He was located here in the cemetery where there was a brief standoff leading to him causing a self-inflicted gunshot to the chest.
Soon after, police learned of another victim, the shooter's girlfriend, dead at her home she shared with the shooter. It's unknown when she was killed.
Yeah, it's a real big shock.
Neighbors say the victims knew each other and often barbecued together.
You can't be angry at somebody who's already dead.
Police are investigating, unsure of the motive, but one thing's clear. Manpower stalled the investigation.
We're already seriously understaffed to begin with, so yeah, clearly we felt it.
This small-town police force of 28 full and part-time members is feeling pressure to cut even more, this time 50% if funding is not found.
But there's no question that, things like this do happen, things like this can happen, and it can happen anywhere, as we learned today. So it's critical to have a staffed police department that's capable of dealing with the situation.
Now, police tonight are continuing their investigation. They say the community is safe, but they are looking into the possibility that there was a second person in the suspect's car. They do have video of it leaving the crime scene, and tonight they are interviewing a second person of interest.
Well, Jen, you did say that manpower was a big problem today in handling these murders. What's being done about that?
Well, there's going to be a levy for that issue this fall, and the chief said that if that does not pass, he simply will have to make more cuts, and he really did not want to make this tragedy a political issue tonight, but he said 4 hours with a suspect on the loose, that simply was his reality today.
All right, Jen Strathman reporting live for us from Newton Falls tonight. Thank you very much, Jen. Again, we want to reiterate what we know. Police say 55-year-old Robert Brazen shot and killed 4 people at 2 separate locations, then fled. After a brief standoff, he turned the gun on himself at Newton Falls Cemetery. 42-year-old Ricky Cogley, 39-year-old Kathleen Cogley, a 15-year-old and 38-year-old Tracy Engler were killed. Police tell our assignment desk that a second person of interest is being questioned, and you can read more about this story on our website, newsnet5.com. We, of course, will continue to follow this developing story for you. Good Morning Cleveland Saturday will have the very latest starting at 6 a.m.